Don't you think people have a right to know who's making money on this deal? Really? That's not really a complex question.
Getting the truth out of this guy won't be easy, but you know us.
You don't think the people have a right to know who's making money on this deal, Mr. Chairman? Really?
Want to meet him? It's Lawrence Snowden, the chairman of the Houston Housing Authority.
We are doing the great work for the people. It's important.
It sure is, Mr. Snowden, but since we're all paying taxes for public housing, you should never forget what you do is our business too.
I'm not aware of any hiding of anything on the deals that we're working on. I'm not aware of any hiding.
So let's share the great news about how Mr. Snowden and the HHA board want to spend your money. The land you're looking at is so contaminated, human beings aren't even allowed to live on it. It's full of leftover ash from the nearby Velasco incinerator, where our trash used to get burned back in the day. You can see how deep the ash is, ash containing lead even seeping into Buffalo Bayou. How nice. Yet our housing authority wants to spend $12.9 million of your money buying this contaminated piece of land that no one can live on, part of a 28-acre public housing real estate deal that, well, deserves our special brand of scrutiny.
I'm not against affordable housing. Against bad deals. This is a bad deal.
Builder Tony Padua and his young family live nearby.
It's disgusting that they're going to use public taxpayer money to buy land that they can't use.
It sounds like a giant waste of money to Brett Shipka, another East End resident who's crying foul.
Appalled. It's actually somewhat comical in a way that, I mean, why would anyone even think that's a good idea?
But this is no joke.
Can you tell me who the brokers are on Middle Street? Who are the brokers? Tell the public who the brokers are. Chairman?
If he won't tell you, well, I will. Meet Lance Gilliam. Look familiar? He was forced out as chairman of the Houston Housing Authority in 2016.
The sound they're hearing right now is my butt getting kicked up and down the street.
Mr. Gilliam has apparently recovered and has resurfaced, and now he's the proud middleman for both of the big planned public housing projects near downtown Houston. What a coincidence. $84 million just for the dirt. Even members of the HHA board caught the smell of Gilliam's involvement. In December of last year, Commissioner Jody Proler sent this text message to Commissioner Michael Harris, quoting, "Just received phone call from Tory and he verbally confirmed Lance Gilliam, broker for NRP on 800 Middle Street. Suspicion was correct." Gilliam is a partner at the Waterman Steel real estate advising firm, and the president of that company is Leisha Green. Did I mention her married name, Leisha Green Ellis? That's right, she's the wife of Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis. They live in this $2.2 million, 12,000 square foot house near Rice Village. Commissioner Ellis fights a lot for public housing in other neighborhoods. Isn't it nice to now know that his wife is making money from it? But just how influential is Mrs. Ellis at the Houston Housing Authority headquarters? We asked to see Chairman Snowden's phone records, and what do you know? The person he talks to the most is the commissioner's wife, Mrs. Ellis.
Mr. Chairman, look at your phone records. I see there are 300 phone calls in a year to Leisha Green Ellis. Is the commissioner's wife pulling strings over here?
Actually, it's 322 calls, because we counted.
How you doing, man? Good. I'm trying to talk to him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, let's walk this way now. Mr. Chairman, is the commissioner's wife pulling strings over here?
We have to get another meeting to her.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just have a couple questions. Is it appropriate for the former chairman of the Housing Authority to be a broker on deals? Well, it's just going to take 2 minutes. I don't see anybody rushing out.
We have another meeting that we are about to go into, Mr. Del Tortino.
Okay, I'll wait, because inquiring minds, they want to know.
You talk to her more than I talk to my wife, and I love my wife. So can you tell me why she's so influential in where we spend money for public housing?
I have no comment.
Well, what are y'all talking about?
Personal business.
Well, it's not personal business because you gave it to me under an open records, which means it's public business. So let's try to get that straight.
We can help jog the chairman's memory. The Housing Authority needed help from Representative Garnet Coleman on a housing project back in February 2019. Quoting, "I'm in Austin today," the HHA executive director wrote at the time. "Should I try to swing by Coleman's office, or do we believe Leisha is getting it done?" Chairman Snowden responds, "Leisha said we'll push it this weekend." Isn't it nice to know that HHA is also using Mrs. Ellis to lobby while she's making money off city housing projects all at the same time?
The smell meter goes up exponentially because of the contact.
The smell of politics and conflicts of interest is hard to ignore for East End homeowner Angela Williams truly.
And it just shows that there's a level of greed that is just tremendous. They're not thinking about the actual residents of that future project. They're thinking about themselves.
It's Hurricane Harvey that set this controversial real estate deal in motion.
1/3 of the 68-year-old housing project was virtually uninhabitable after the flooding.
I've seen how it did some people mentally.
296 families would need new homes if Clayton was demolished. But the land was priceless to the state of Texas because they wanted to move the freeway right where Clayton stood. It was a potential $90 million windfall to the Houston Housing Authority for more public housing.
You know what I love about government? When they get a bunch of money, they seem to have to spend it all right away. And maybe it's just a coincidence that the commissioner's wife and the former chairman of the agency are both getting a payday in this deal. Look, call me a skeptic, but I doubt it.
Just next door to Clayton Homes was one solution. The old El Mercado is now the Marquee Apartments. For $50 million, the Clayton folks could have moved there. But that's not the plan, maybe because it's cheaper. The mayor wants to add more than 1,000 low-income families to the East End alone, to schools that, by the way, are already failing. Nearly 2 years ago, the Housing Authority agreed to partner with a company called NRP for 12 housing projects all across town. Guess it's helpful that Mr. Gilliam and Mrs. Ellis are their brokers. Here's another date worth remembering. On June 17, 2019, NRP gave HHA the rights to finish the deal to buy the 28 acres as long as they are the developer. All the property would now be off the tax rolls forever. Great deal for NRP, but not for Harris County taxpayers. And that's why we always like to look at campaign records. In the weeks before the housing deal, NRP became big fans of Mayor Turner. Top executives and the company president's wife donated $10,000. Commissioner Rodney Ellis got political cash too. The whole family is in that fight for public housing. Mayor Turner appoints all the members of the Housing Authority Board without any council review. 2-year terms, we're told. In April 2019, banker Jody Proler and lawyer Michael Harris had joined the board. Fresh blood. But it didn't take long for Harris to smell a rat, and not just on this deal. Quoting, "Since coming to the board, I have observed several matters that are disturbing and a reflection of the leadership at HHA." Both Proler and Harris wanted Snowden removed as chairman, and guess what? They're both suddenly gone from the board. Funny how that happens. The Housing and Urban Development Agency will have to approve this project, and the feds are already asking the same questions we did. Why would we use public housing money to buy land you know is contaminated? Look at this email from HUD's Houston Director Lorraine Walls back in December. Quoting, "Houston is a big city. Other lots available without contamination history. 6 acres are not in dispute. And children, they don't always read signs." You would think Mayor Turner would be really sensitive about the health of low-income families after news reports of cancer clusters. What's more important, Mayor, the health of folks or the folks making money on a deal? We could have asked Chairman Snowden that question if he had the guts to stand and answer the ones we already had.
Don't you think people have a right to know who's making money on this deal? Really?